Good afternoon, 11th graders. Welcome to your first virtual English class. Today we got two different topics to study. They are conditionals and modal verbs. Actually, this is not to study, this is to review because we have checked those topics when we were in 10th grade and also in 9th grade and also in 8th grade. So basically this is not a pretty new topic for us, but well, we got to check, so we are going to do it today. What's the activity? We are going to do a grammar explanation, and every time that we do this kind of activities, I ask the students to grab their notebooks, their books, and a highlighter to highlight important information or to write down important aspects about the explanation. So in this moment, please run away and pick up your things because we are going to start with the class. Meanwhile you are doing this, I want to say that I have missed you a lot, that this is not the same to teach classes here in front of the computer, that I prefer to be in the classrooms, sharing time with you, laughing and getting fun. But well, those are the circumstances, so the only thing that I hope is that you are doing well with your families and that you are taking care of yourselves. I just send you kisses and hugs and of course my prayers. And no more because I'm going to start crying. So let's start. What is the first topic we are going to check today? Conditionals. As I said before, this is not a new topic, this is just a review. And we are going to divide this first explanation of conditionals in two. The explanation according to Teacher Daniela version and the one that has the book, because they are not completely different, but they are not exactly the same. There are some differences between these two explanations, so we are going to review two of them. To start, we need to contextualize us about what is a conditional. I have always told my students that a conditional is the joining of two different ideas, of two different sentences. Yes, one of these sentences is going to be a cause, and the second one is going to be the consequence of this first one, the result of this first situation. It is important to mention that these two different ideas, they are correlated because of course one supports the other one. So in this case I colored those examples for you to understand or to remember in a better way this topic. So in red color you will find the cause of this clause. We got if children eat too much sugar, comma, we need the bridge to join these two different sentences, and in this case is the comma because we are starting this with the if clause. So if children eat too much sugar, comma, the result is that they usually put on weight. Put on weight means engordar in Spanish. So this is the cause and this is the consequence. If they eat too much sugar, babies, they usually put on weight. This is a normal sentence that you can find by using zero conditional because you have in here present and you have in here present. But well, we are going to see this later on. Do not forget that this is possible for you to make it in the opposite way. You can start by saying the consequence first and then you can announce what is the cause. We can say children usually put on weight, which is the consequence, if they eat too much sugar. But in this case we are not going to join these two sentences with a comma but with the if. So the comma goes away, we don't need it. That's the way you can use conditionals, by starting with the cause and then saying the consequence, or by saying the consequence first and then the cause, but it has some grammar implications that you cannot forget. Those are just little tips for quizzes or for real life. Well, this is the grammar review. This is the Teacher Daniela's version, the one that we have studied since we were in 8th grade. So we got zero conditional, first conditional, second and third conditional, 4 different kind of conditionals for this class, because remember that last year we checked also mixed conditionals, that they were two other kinds of conditionals that they actually mix, free and second conditional and well other structures. Well, today we are just going to check from zero to third conditional. because then it's going to be too much information and we are going to get super confused. Well, zero conditional, the formula is present over present. We use zero conditional for general truths and general habits. For example, when we said in the previous slide that, sorry, technical problems, that if children eat too much sugar, the consequence will be that they put on weight. This is a general truth, right? We got another example in here. If you add 2 and 2, you get 4. You got in here present and you had in here present. And a comma because you need to divide it or join better these two different ideas. Do not forget that you can start by saying you get 4 if you add 2 and 2. It means in the opposite way. The first conditional, which formula is present over future, it's for possible or likely things to happen in the future. Example, if it rains later, the consequence is that we will stay at home. If it rains later, we will, this is the contraction for will, so will stay at home. Present in the first part, future in the second part. We can say it in the opposite. Will stay at home if it rains later, and we skip the comma. The second conditional is past simple over would. It is for impossible things in the present or things that are unlikely to have a result in the future. Example, if I won the lottery, which is not so possible, I would sail around the world. Or we can say, I would sail around the world if I won the lottery. In the first part, the cause, we got a present verb, a past verb, and in the second one we have would. Then we got the third conditional that we use with past perfect, which is the fathers of the past. Do you remember that we said that last year, el papá de los pasados? So we are going to use past perfect over would. We are going to use have, and as we are using have, we will need a past participle verb. Or we can summarize this formula by saying, well, past perfect by using would and also a present perfect structure. But, well, you decide which one do you want to use or which one do you want to memorize. And this is for things that didn't happen in the past, and of course they have an imaginary result, as they didn't happen, of course. The example, if I had studied harder, thing that you didn't do in the past, I would have passed the exam. Si yo hubiera estudiado más fuerte, yo habría pasado el examen. This is an imaginary situation because you didn't do it, so sorry, baby. In here you have your past perfect structure, and in the consequence you will find would, have, and the past participle verb. Would, have, and the past participle verb. Well, babies, of course, you can say it in the opposite way. You can say, I would have passed the exam if I had studied harder, but without the comma. Now, let's see what is the explanation the book has for us. And I'm going to ask you to go to the grammar explanation that you will find on page 177. 177. They summarize this into 3 different situations. The ones for real conditionals, the one for unreal conditionals, and the one for both of them, that you can use it both of them. Real conditionals, they summarize it by using zero and first conditional. Unreal conditional, they use second conditional. And real and unreal, they use other expressions to join these 2 different sentences and to create a conditional clause. Let's start with real conditionals. They use zero and first conditional. The example is, if I finish my work early, I go home. In this first part, you find present verb, and the second one is, I won't be able to move if I don't save money every month. In the first part, you got a future structure, and in the second one, you have a present structure. In this case, the clause is in the opposite way. First, the consequence, and then the cause. For unreal conditionals, you will find the second conditional. The example is, if the government wanted to improve education, they would invest more heavily in teaching training. In here you will find a past verb over would. Here you got would, cause, and consequence, and of course the comma. We got in here 3 different examples. They got by using the expressions unless, otherwise, supposing, and provided that. Unless something is done to protect the world's rainforest, they will disappear. What is the meaning of unless? Please check it on your dictionaries because Liber is not in here with us in this moment to look for that word. Unless means a no ser de que tal cosa pase. A no ser de que algo se haga para proteger los bosques del mundo, estos desaparecerán. This is, again, a cause and a consequence. They are not using if in here, but they are using unless. That is another possibility too. Or a sentence with conditions. Universities, which is the second example, need to adapt their curricula. Otherwise, de otro modo, students won't be equipped for the jobs of the future. Supposing we all start using public transport, the world would be very different. I'm sorry. Suponiendo que todos empecemos a utilizar bla bla bla. That is another sentence to make a conditional. A cause and the consequence. Same in here. The cause and the consequence. Medical research is valuable provided that, dado que, it does not cost too much money. A cause and a consequence. The cause is that medical research is valuable because, that's another way, or provided that it doesn't cost too much money. So you can use these expressions also to say, to announce, or to express a conditional clause without using if, not necessarily. But be careful because in here they follow the same rule of the comma. If you start with the expression to indicate conditional, then you got to use the comma. Basically, that is all. Those are exactly the same examples that you will find on your book, so please highlight important information in there. Now we got modal verbs with degrees of certainty. What are modal verbs for degrees of certainty? We use those to express how sure we are about something. We use them to express speculation or deduction. Speculation, something that you believe but you are not sure, and deduction, something that you have like a proof to say that, okay? We can use must, could, might, or may, and mustn't and can. When teaching, we can use must when we are sure about something, 100% sure. Scientists must be close to finding a cure for heart diseases by now, based on the latest reports from the World Health Organization. You have a proof. You are 100% sure this is that way because you got a proof. Could, might, and may, it's for possibilities. It means that you are not so sure that something it's true or is not, but you think that it's possible it will happen. I might get an interview for the job because I have the right qualifications even though I don't have any experience. You are speculating in here, no? In here maybe deducting, in here speculating. In the case of must and mustn't, mustn't and can't, you are completely sure that something is not true. It's like the opposite for must, no? Mustn't and can is because it's the opposite. You are you are sure this is not true or this is won't happen. We can rely on traditional fuel sources to provide the energy. We will need it in the future as they are rapidly running out. 100% sure this is not going to happen. Basically, those are the modal verbs for degrees of certainty. Tomorrow we are going to have a class so we can expand this information and also develop the exercises. Thank you so much for your attention, guys. See you in our next virtual class. That is tomorrow. Bring your book, your notebook, and everything. See you, babies. Bye!